Om Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Hingulambikaya Namaha. Om Kamakyaya Namaha. Om Kalakalaya Vidmahe Kalatitaya Dhimahi Tannah Kalabhairava Prachodayat. Om Hingule Paramahingule Amritaroopini Tanushakti Manashive Shri Hingulaya Namaha. Namaskaram. Welcome to yet another video of our Ishtartha Bhairava, Guru Bhairava. In today's episode, or in today's topic, basically we'll talk about the continuation of the Mahābhairavas. This particular Bhairava Swarūpa is well known in entire cosmos. Everyone has spoken about it, and this is one of the prominent Bhairava Swarūpa which has been spoken, heard, and we know about it. It's Kalabhairava, it's Guru Kalabhairava, the ninth among the Dashamahabhairavas. Here, what we need to understand is in Dashamahabhairava, every Swarupa is connected to one concept. But here, we always know from a mythological even perspective, as well as when it comes to the storylines which have always been shared. Like Kalabhairava is always connected to Kalima as she being the concept, and also in particular Dashamahabhairava, Ma Tripura Sundari is actually a concept of the Bhairava. As I told, every Devi Swarupini of in this cosmos or the existence, the Shakti, whenever it comes in any of the Swarupas, it is only Bhairava is the concept of the Devi Shakti. Similar is actually for the Bhairava. Whatsoever the Bhairava Swarupa is going to come, the Shakti would be actually on a different names. In Dashamahavidyas, every Swarupa is for the different reasons and the cause. But here, today, rather than actually talking more from a Kalabhairava perspective, I believe you would be knowing it the same story which been explained, expressed across all the videos, whichever the contents we see it in the social media. And also we know that this is one of a prominent as how the Swarupa of the Bhairava came into an existence. Kalabhairava Swarupa came into an existence. Why he is been called as Kalatita. Why he is actually governing the entire cosmos, the time scale. It's the same story about Brahma and Vishnu when there was an argument between both of them that who is a prominent or who is actually powerful in both of them. The discussion happened in such a way that the supreme stage, or we can call it as a supreme thought, was been active in both of them. It was actually basically been active by the Brahma only. After creating the four Vedas, he created the fifth Veda, and he was thinking that actually he is equivalent to everyone now. He is equivalent to Paramashiva because he has holding the fifth head. The cosmos was trembling at that given point of time because the creators only are thinking on an egoistic level that actually who is much more prominent or who is much more important when it comes to the ecological system which has been created by Devi herself. In this pride, actually what happened is neither anyone yielded. I believe you would be knowing it. It's the same place. It's in the Tiruvannamalai. It's in the South India in Tiruvannamalai. The Shiva took a form of a stamba, infinity light of the stamba which actually grown in such a way. It is Sadāśiva manifesting himself into a beam of light. Infinity expansion. It was like Arunachaleshwara is very, very powerful. That is the reason many of the people take a parikrama of the particular hill of Tiruvannamalai, because it is being considered as the Pratama Swarupa of the Trideva where entire cosmos was witnessed. So even till dated, you will be seeing this as a Dakshina Kashi. One. Second, you will be seeing Siddhars, what we call it as a monk, living monks, whoever you can find, that many of them actually will talk about the Himalayas. But coming to the south, it has been only place in entire geographical from an India perspective. The people or the sadhakas who really feel there is something being very prominent from an energy perspective is Tiruvannamalai. Many rishis are there. Ramana Maharishi is one among them. Ram Setu Siddhar is there. So many Siddhas, 72 Siddhars actually, when they took the form and they had been there. There are multiple such stories. But today we will just stick back to the, um, the, the ninth form of Dashamahavidya. When the Sadāśiva took that particular form as a stamba, as a white beam, he actually portrayed himself that it is not about the Pharisee. He portrayed himself that actually what is the essence, creations of that cosmos. I believe you would be knowing the story. Brahma actually took the top of it by the taking the form of swan. He went actually on the Akasha Marga on the top, and Vishnu taking the boar as Varaha. He took actually went into the downward towards Patala Loka to see where exactly there is a start and end of this pillar. Sadāśiva actually clearly mentioned whoever finds this actually would be tagged, or who would be given a darja or a position that he is a supreme in the cosmos creations. After this, as no one was able to find it, and Brahma took a support of Ketakima, the flower, who actually took the side of Brahma, and she was able to give a false information in front of a Shiva that actually she was able to see the tip of the stamba, Deepa stamba, or the Adhara stamba. Adhara stamba is none other than, it is called actually, even in Bhairava Purana, it is very clearly articulated. The Kalabhairava is also called as an Adhara stamba because that's a place of creation. Okay, maybe actually in some other video we'll talk about in detail about those, and with the Guru's grace we will be able to share little bit more information, because such informations are not been disclosed. Most of the informations are not been disclosed. With the grace of Guru, we will try to share those information, um, which is going to be much more important or prominent to all of us being a sadhakas of Bhairava. Here, after identifying such kind of false information from Ketakiva, Shiva actually was able to give a curse on Ketakima, but there was a different reaction when it comes to the Brahma himself. I believe you would be knowing it. There was actually a third eye activated from the Shiva himself, where from the third eye, Kalabhairava was able to take into a Swarūpa. He is not Avatara, he is a Swarūpa. He came to teach the creator that your creation is not appropriated. Ego cannot be part of the creation. Ego cannot drive the creator's creation. This is what actually he was able to teach in his first essence. That is the reason Kalabhairava himself, or Bhairava Swarupa, is himself is being articulated as Guru Swarupa. Unless we know about the Guru Tattva, Guru Swarupa actually disclosing about the Guru Swarupa, our Guru is very, very less when it comes to actually showcasing or knowing about his Tattva. Kalabhairava, when he got to know, when he came into an existence, without even a single thought, what he understood even from the Shiva, because it was from the Agnya Chakra of the Shiva himself, the third eye, the knowledge point, the as it is being identified in when it comes to the seven chakras, it has been identified that unless your Agnya Chakra is active, you will not be able to step into the sadhana, or you will not be able to know about the unknown from a consciousness perspective. We talk about many things, we talk about the topics, we talk about good, bad, ugly, but unless there is something is really been bothering us, or something which is really going to be connected to our life, such kind of a thoughts will never be generated. That only happens to the Agnya Chakra. When Bhairava came into existence, his first task was actually chopping off the ego of the creator. The creator was being punished by the creator himself, telling that you may be the creator, but even in your creation there are flaws. That is the reason it has been said, when it been done a aradhana of the Bhairava, the unnecessary things in one's life will be chopped off. You may be creating your thoughts, you may be creating that actually I am doing something, or by doing this I'll be able to achieve something. Not at all. Once you step into, or once Bhairava step into your life with his grace, he will make sure that unnecessary things in your life or in the path of your journey from a sadhana paddhati perspective, it will be removed, it will be cleared, such that you will have a better connection starting going towards him in a uninterrupted way of connection with the Daiva. Many of them actually know the story till then here, but later on what happened is actually, after chopping off the Brahma's head, it has been said that actually Shiva himself is been told to take a parikrama of the entire Kashi Kshetra, or entire Shrushti, all the lokas, not the man hours of 12 years. Okay, as I've already told or explained this in the previous video, it is like a 12 long years of his time scale. Okay, and again, Shiva Guna, when it comes to, I have already told, one particular minute is actually, or a one particular minute is actually a 100 minutes to the Vishnu Loka, and when it comes to the 100 minutes of Vishnu Loka is 1,000 minutes of actually Brahma Loka. In Linga Purana, it has been articulated. Maybe in some other video we'll talk about only about the time scale, about why exactly this particular calculation is all about. Here we are talking about after, especially the episode what happened when it comes to the after chopping off the Brahma's head, holding the Brahma Kapala. He being a actually Brahma Hatya, now he holds the Kapala of the Brahma, and 12 years he holds that head, and that is none other than, we call it as fifth Veda, which is not able to hold by creator himself. Even maybe creator has created this information, but even he was not able to hold this information. So what he was able to do is, he was able to um, Bhairava was able to was it has been said that actually after Brahma episode happened like this, Vishnu actually was able to bow down in front of the Bhairava and ask him to come to the Vaikunta. This story is actually, you may be thinking that it is a friction stories. No, as I told, maybe Vaishnavas will not accept this information because they think that Shaiva or Shiva Tattva is more prominent when it comes to. No, here you need to understand the storyline. Logically, even if you think Brahma was there, Vishnu was there, Shiva actually was able to tell about the Sadāśiva Swarūpa perspective, Bimba perspective. He was able to take a Linga Swarūpa, and he was able to educate the creator, both the creators, what is the prominence. We know half of the story, that actually, like, what was an episode from a Brahma perspective. But when it comes to Vishnu, what happened? This is where actually we need to understand. It has been said that actually even Vishnu bowed down to the Brahma of Shiva Tattva Swarupa of the Brahma and asked him to come to the Vaikunta. And when Lord Vishnu received him at the utmost reverence at the Vaikunta, when when the Bhairava told him that actually when I do a parikrama, when I do a Triloka Sanchara, I will come one day to the Vaikunta and I will be able to give my darshana there. Again, even Daivas, even Vishnu, whenever he took Dashamahāvataras, he also ensured that actually he was waited for his essential time to come and make sure that reverence of his radiance of his Swarupa or Avatara is being accepted. Even many of the Avatara perspective, we are going to talk more from a Bhairava Swarupa today. What happened was actually when Bhairava had visited the Vaikunta, he was finally he was received in a very beautiful and reverence way. Vishnu himself actually went near to the Dvara when he was being noticed by the Jaya Vijaya that actually there is one particular furious god or a furious Swarupa which has come in front of the Vaikunta, which is so furious, we feel that actually it is a Vetala, it is Betala, or it is like a Ugra Swarupa. It is actually, we are feeling that actually he is not a part of the Daiva Guna. When this information was being said or told to the Vishnu when he was taking a Shayana, when Lakshmi was in his presence, without any further delay, similar to whatever we have seen the episode in Krishna Sudama story. Similar way, he was able to run towards actually to the Dwara. He was able to receive Bhairava in a utmost reverence because it is none other than his Ishta. Shiva Paramatma himself has come to his doorsteps. Taking a Kapala, holding the Khadga, he has come there not to actually punish someone but give a darshana to the Creator himself. This, when it happened, when the Devas, when he went, he was being given utmost respect. His radiance was in such a beautiful way that he was able to give a darshan and he was able to give a Guru Jnana even to the Vishnu. It has been said that actually Dasha avatar of Vishnu was actually being supported by Dasha Mahābhairavas. How Dasha Mahābhairavas, when he was in his younger age or whenever his avatara was came into an existence, his furious nature of, it may be like Narasimha avatara, Vama avatara, or even if you see all the avatars of the Vishnu, especially even the which is going to come to the Kalki avatara, the furious nature of the Vishnu is actually Bhairava Guna. Bhairava is not a person. Bhairava is a consciousness. Bhairava is a tattva, tritattva, or whatever we call it as satvika, tamasika, rajasika, guna. In this three guna, there is above state which is called as tattva. That is actually Bhairava tattva. People may not be accepting that kind of information which I am trying to share, but still, let me just tell you that this is what actually my guru has told me how exactly Bhairava was the unseen or untold mystery which is still dated. The his particular Swarupa is misunderstood or it has not been accepted because he never wanted that actually any kind of a name fame when it comes to he. If you see particularly from a Shiva Swarupa perspective, he always been like hidden. He has always been that actually cool, calm, such that actually his importance, his fragrance, basically his fragrance is what actually made people to actually get attracted. It's all gunas. Such was Shiva Guna. Such was the Paramashiva's Guna, which made people to think, know about the Guna himself. And in that, the prominent Swarupa was Bhairava himself. Same as Rudra, 11 Rudras, Bhairava is actually the very, very prominent because in 64 Kandas, whatever we have it from a Shaiva Tattva perspective, it may be only 11 from a Rudra, but rest of everything is from the Bhairava. And whatever the humankind till dated, which is being utilized as 112 ways of actually getting the liberation of the tool, which is also being given by Shiva himself in a Bhairava Swarupa. Coming back, Shiva Bhairava was able to receive a very beautiful reverence from the Vishnu Bhagavan as well as Mahalakshmi. And actually, when Devatas questioned about this particular act, why exactly Bhairava came into the Vaikunta and why exactly that particular episode happened, he was able to tell that and able to give a Guru Tattva teachings to the Vishnu himself. See, this is not about the violation but a liberation. He was able to teach this very thing. He was able to remove the ego of itself. The head of the Brahma was being not speaking the truth, which he removed it. The truth, whenever is not being told, he will remove it. As I told you, he will remove the unnecessary things in one's life. But one pride Vishnu also had at that point of time. Not only Brahma, even Vishnu had it. At same thing, Bhairava was able to tell, honoring the Bhairava, we honor to destroy the falsehood. This was a jnana which Vishnu was able to give to the entire samsara, that Bhairava once come into the life, the falsehood, the false of yourself will be removed. Whatever you call it as me, myself, mine will not be there at all. When Bhairava was able to take such kind of highest step to create the consciousness to the creator, to Brahma as well as a Vishnu, why can't he can do for this particular Tutya Janma, humans? We are literally blessed when we start listening about the Bhairava, when we talk about the Bhairava, when even we start about the sadhana of the Bhairava, everything is blessed. It is not that actually we may think that because of his Guna Tattva, my actions, my reactions has been changed, or how exactly my life situations have become very, very troublesome. And after doing Aradhana of him, my problems have been increased. Let me just tell you, always I have already told you this. If you want to make your life beautiful, in sadhana paddhati, it is not actually easy go. It is not a love affair. It is actually making purification of yourself. How actually the diamond becomes the purest and it will start glowing it. Unless it has been the raw form or the unnecessary elements which has been stuck to the diamond is always been chopped off. It is hit, it has been removed. It is being given a proper shape such that a glittering comes out of that particular soul of the diamond. Similar is what actually Bhairava is trying to do in our life. Never think that actually after doing a sadhana of him, I have got more problems in my life. You will get it. I always tell, sadhana is not actually an easy play. When you do a sadhana, and even when people come to the Prathama Charana, Dvitiya Charana, or in the Rudraksha Diksha, I always tell them, when you do a sadhana, it is not about a fairy tales. You may feel that actually I have acquired this, I'm going to acquire this, I'm going to acquire the siddhi. No, you are here to lose everything. Sadhana is all about losing. If you are ready to lose, if you are ready to lose this self, because even Brahma and Vishnu was able to teach, unless the self is being loose, you will never get an liberation at all. See, hearing this, when entire cosmos was able to witness, when Vishnu himself was able to tell, but Bhairava Swarupa is the only thing which is going to remove your falsehood. That's what actually as a sadhakas we need to understand. We always have a thought that actually by doing the aradhana of the Bhairava, by doing the sadhana of the Bhairava, we may think that actually, we may think, again let me just be very clear here. We may think that actually I'm going to acquire everything in my life. People always come and tell me, most of them email me, most of them actually text me. They'll tell me that actually my problems have been increased 100 folds, 10 folds, 20 folds, 50 folds. Yes, it will happen. Whatever the Prārabdha karma we have it, we will always have such kind of troubles in our life. When it comes to actually the Bhairava, especially, he always come into our life to teach something. He always come to teach that actually your four layers of what do you call it as karma phala is going to be taken care. This is what actually Vishnu was able to teach us. He was able to tell as a Guru Tattva of Bhairava, Kalabhairava. He was able to clearly articulate that whenever the ego arises, whenever you get into a situation that actually you think that actually you are much more prominent. Normally, what happens is When ego is completely activated, we think that actually I am trying to do so everything in surrounding in my life, and I am a creator, because even this is what actually Brahma also did it. This is what actually even Vishnu did it. It is not only Brahma, it is also Vishnu also was equally in share of that crime of telling Paramashiva, the five heads of the Shiva, that actually I am the supreme. This is where um, the Vishnu was able to disclose a, a beautiful um, four, we call it as mm, four charanas, or we call it as actually this as a four adhara stamba, to know about why ego or why karma is very essential. Based on the time friction, what we need to understand from a karma is, one is something called as a Sanchita karma, one is a Prārabdha karma, one is Āgāmā karma, and third is Kriyamāna karma. This is what actually Vishnu was able to teach us. Again, you may think that actually this has come from the Saptarishis or from the Daivaloka, that karma was being explained to the Manukula as after the episode of the Brahma, that Brahma was being chopped off by his ego because his fifth head was being removed. But what about Vishnu? This is what he was able to dissolve his ego, stating that what exactly the karma pala is all about. This may have not been written, or it may have not been actually articulated somewhere. But in Kaula Nirvana Tantra, how Bhairava himself, when he came, entire story of episode is being actually articulated. Sometimes actually we most of them actually are will be arguing on the email with me or texting me. I don't tell that actually arguing with me. It is a beautiful questions when it comes to reaches to me. I will always be I'll bow down to their questions. I will always try to explain them as much as information which I am aware about with. I'll always be questioned that actually, where is the articulation? Give me the proof. See, let me just tell you. When this particular jiva doesn't know where we have come from, where we are going to go, one, even we do not know what is the next minute is going to happen to our this particular being. Do you really feel that actually asking such kind of a logical event informations is going to be helpful for you? Always tell the sadhakas that don't fall behind the one particular Sarupa Tattva perspective. Even I'll tell that actually even this particular information is somewhat like the second most prominent question which everyone will ask is whether I need to do a aradhana of Kalabhairava, Bhairava, Batuka Bhairava, Swarnakarshana Bhairava. Again, Bhairava is the consciousness. Even if you do a aradhana of one Moola Nama Smarana of Om Bhairavaya Namaha, your life is going to change. All the entire Bhairava Tattva is going to get activated. It is not one particular Swarupa. You may only be asking that I need only 1 rupee of the entire share of entire life. Even the happiness, the growth, health, wealth, everything is prominent of the human life. Similar is entire the Bhairava Guna, Bhairava Tattva. Once you start actually doing aradhana of the Bhairava Tattva, automatically you will be attracting all the things into your life. It is not actually I want only one thing in my life. You may be thinking that this particular transaction in my life get completed. For example, I need a job, I need a marriage to be done, I want my daughter or a son to get married. Trust me, rather than you being actually thinking so much about your loved ones, do you think that actually the creator doesn't care for us? The creator also teached even the creator himself, Brahma and Vishnu. He was able to teach that when it comes to the ego, when you feel that actually your ego is much more prominent and you have created everything, you know everything, and I will be able to do something, he taught them. Do you feel that he doesn't going to teach us? Keep always in mind, sadhana is always burning yourself, burning your ego, burning your panchendriyas, thinking that actually I am burning myself in his presence. Coming back to the story, Vishnu was able to give a four adhara stamba, and that is the reason it is also connected that whenever we do a aradhana of the Shiva, there are four we call it as four diyas actually we light up when it comes to the customs or the puja of the Bhairava, four diyas we actually light up, and the four diyas actually represent these four karmas. It is about Sanchita karma, Prārabdha karma, Āgāmā, and Kriyamāna. These are the four karmas which, as a human, I have brought here. Please burn those. That is the representation of burning or lighting up of the uh, the four faces of diyas in front of Bhairava. Here, Sanchita karma is an actually like a storehouse. We can call it as a warehouse where accumulated karma is being stored, a past karma, past life karma, or it is a countless of life. You may think that actually 1 to 10, no. We call that actually after lakhs of janma in this existence, we come into the human to make sure that we get to know about the consciousness of the Daiva who has created us. Even when creator was not able to understand this, we as a human actually will always have a fallback, always wondering that I can do anything, I can do anything and everything. Not at all. The countless life has always taught us like what is needed we need to drop, what is always which is not needed or needed we are going to drop. The only thing is the whatever the time which we have given to the Paramatma is only going to take us to the next beautiful life. It is like, let's give an example. Like, let's say Aro lying, um, if I am archer, let's take an example of an archer. The archer will be holding one particular quiver, right? That is actually the box of the arrows in it, and the box is actually, sir, what we call it a Sanchita karma. That particular box, number of arrows in that, is actually Sanchita karma, and he is waiting to release. Okay, he knows that he need to pick, and he know that what is going to come, because there are a lot of karmas which is already been the storehouse basically. The second comes actually Prārabdha karma, the portion of Sanchita karma, whatever we have it from the warehouse, the portion of the Sanchita karma is what actually is Prārabdha, that we begin to bear fruits in this present life. We always bring certain part of karma to make sure that, in for example, there are 999 which are there in the warehouse. We are only bringing 9 here to make sure that this 9 out of 999 is getting completed or closed or cleared off. The balance sheet is cleared off. That's what actually is called Prārabdha. In this particular life, I'm going to clear all these things, and whatever has been done here, it is going to bear the fruit. And it is like Prārabdha is what actually like it determines the current birth, or we can call it as like it determines about our family, it determines about the body, it determines about the lifespan, what is the total lifespan we carried, or it is determines about the major events which is going to happen in our life. Always you may have seen in the Brahmin community of the family, people always will be telling that it is my Prārabdha that actually I am having this episode in my life, or it is my Prārabdha that actually I have got connected to you. Prārabdha is what actually we have bought from that Sanchita karma. Like talking from a archer, or a from a mm, from the example which I have given, like it's like an arrow already put into the bow. It's shot. Okay, it cannot be taken back, it is already shot. So that is Prārabdha. The third one, whatever was being taught by Mahavishnu to us, to Manukula, was about Āgāmā karma. Āgāmā karma is like a karma we have created in this present life. What we are trying to do, unknowing things. You know that actually in awareness, we are always conscious that what actions we are performing in and around in our life. But unawareness is actually one of the very, very essential when it comes to every human beings. Forget about animals, they are bound with such kind of gunas in them, but we having the human life, we always have it knowledge to actually think that I have done mistake. Not after doing every mistake doing this or understanding this. No, once you are understood about the mistake, that is would be the last of it. That is what actually it was being said. In Agama Karma, it may be like our thoughts, it may be our words, it may be our actions of the deeds, what we perform it. This is what actually Mahavishnu was able to tell. Be conscious on your Agama Karma. Make sure that your actions are more conscious. This is what in 112 ways of Vijnana Bhairava Tantra was able to give us a glimpse that this is what the importance is all about the life. The 112 ways to liberate this oneself into the next level of the consciousness. And how this can happen, only you get to know how consciously you are living in this existence. Your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, everything matters. You may think that actually I have not hurted any person outside of me. Even thinking or a thought that I need to go and hit him or I need to make some trouble to that person is also a karma. And that is also a Āgāmī karma which we need to take care. Again, even the not only actions, even the thought also will create the karmas. In Karma Siddhanta, it is beautifully been articulated by Vishnu himself in this particular episode that Agama Karma is very, very essential because it is going to bear the fruits of your actions. Either later in this life or next life. You must. That is the reason always the Guru Bhava or whatever the Guru Tattva or a Gurujana will always be telling us be conscious on your actions, be conscious on your thoughts, be conscious on your emotions. These three things will create a appropriated karma into your life such that you will forget what actions I have done or what is the results is going to come. Always we will think, why for me? Why only for me this has happened? Why not for someone has happened? It is you have done it in your past life, in your whatever prarabdha you had bought from your past life. You had done something wrong in Agama Karma stage in your past life, and that is the reason you are bearing this fruit today. And we also tell, there is one beautiful line also. They tell that actually your child is your karma. Yes, the actions whichever is being performed by the creators. Creator, I mean to say, like the male and the female, when it comes to the masculine and feminine, when it comes to the creation, the outcome is actually what the children is all about. And what they are going to bring into our life is not the happiness, it is about the teachings. Is how exactly you need to be more conscious in your life. This is what actually the children are going to teach us when it comes to our life. That is Agama Karma. You need to bear your fruits, or your actions will bear the fruits, and it will happen in this life or the next life, future births it will happen. The fourth is actually Kriyamāna Karma. Vishnu was able to beautifully be able to tell us this about everyone in today's world. Tell that actually, for example, someone has done some wrong. He is going in a road. Someone has done some wrong. Within few fraction of seconds, something will happen to him. For example, he will be going the road. He will actually scratch the car. After 100 meters, he will fall. People will tell that instant karma. This is what actually rightly it is called Kriyamāna Karma. In Kriyamāna Karma, it is somewhat like instant. It is somewhat like immediate. Whatever you do day by day, instant by instant, you are going to do right now, or whatever the action you are going to do, it is going to happen now. It is going to happen in this lifetime only. In this in this actually, like what we can call it as very instant, it is going to happen immediately in your lifetime. It will happen. It has very powerful to influence and even the cancel some of the future events of other karmas. You need to be very conscious. Kriyamāna Karma. So only always it has been told. These are the four Adhara Stambha, the four Chaushat Diyas, whatever we light up. This is what actually it represents. Sanchita Karma, Prārabdha Karma, Āgama Karma, Kriyamāna Karma is actually going to be burnt in front of him, such that actually we are consciously living and know what Bhairava taught to the creators, Brahma and Vishnu, was able to, is also teaching us. We are just humans, just humans. Creator was being taught by him. Do you think that we are going to be spared? Not at all. And when it comes to, mm, um, see again, these are the four chows. We call it as four karmas, which actually Vishnu was able to tell. Vishnu was able to also tell there are four qualities of the karma, four types of karma. Based on the qualities, there are four gunas. We call it as, or we can call it as. These are the very four we call it as the base of the quality of the karma. What are those? It is called Shukla karma. Shukla karma is somewhat like a white karma or a born with a sattvika. Every human, actually, we have all these three shades: sattvika, tamasika, rajasika. Sometimes you feel very much blissed in yourself. You will feel that actually I'm very, very connected today, and that is called Shukla karma. It is actually like knowing your self actions. I am trying to pick something, I am trying to drink something, I am trying to eat consciously. I know what to be done. Not like actually I have done accidentally. This is called Shukla karma. There is something called Krishna karma. This is called as a black karma. Similar to the Shukla karma, white karma, this is called something called a black karma. This happens when there are two gunas getting added. One is tamasika, rajasika. Whenever these two gunas is getting connected, this particular Krishna guna is active. Krishna is not actually the name of the god. Krishna is a guna. Krishna is a consciousness. It is actually the connection between two tattva, tamasika and rajasika. That is the reason Kali is connected, and that is the reason even Kali is also been in one of the name of the Kali is called Krishna Kali. And even Krishna also shared one particular swarupa of the Kali. And here it is actually removing. Krishna is, this is what actually Krishna was able to teach the human life. Self, what we call it as selfishness, whatever the violence, ignorance. You know that actually in his entire life stories, how many um, demons, selfish demons were been diminished, and also how many violence he was able to do, and also he was able to be in a tatastha, he was able to be in a consciously, he was able to tell violence is not the only act, it is only about the karmas, four karmas we need to be taking care. This is what actually he was able to teach in his Krishna Swarupa perspective. And ignorance, by doing one small ignorance, what is the implications which is going to happen? Many such stories are being told, are said in Bhagavad Gita, and also in the Krishna um, avatara perspective. This is actually like Krishna karma, the black, whatever we call it as the black karma in one's life. There is one more, the third karma is Shukla Krishna karma. This is like mixture of both the karmas, the white as well as the black, which is called in today's science, or the especially in the Japan, China, the monks normally called inyan. Half of the it would be black and half it would be white. They call it as actually, it is actually the white consciousness and the black consciousness, and that merges. That is a human being thought process. This is what actually it is called Shukla karma, Krishna karma. This is also connected to the calendar today. Whatever in the Hindu calendar, we have Shukla Paksha, Krishna Paksha, 15 days. Tithi, this is what actually he was able to disclose us. The Krishna Shukla karma is somewhat like mixed karma. What we need to understand is it is partly good and partly bad. Most human actions are actually involved in this. Again, Krishna always told, he even in his entire life episode, he was able to teach us this. Whenever a human, Dashavatara, even the Krishna Avatara when he came, this was Shukla Krishna Avatara, or a karma which he was able to teach us very consciously how we can actually get rid of those karmas. Next is actually like akarmaka. Akarmaka is actually the karma performed in a pure awareness. We call it as Daiva Guna, or we call it as without attachment to the fruits. We as a sadhakas, we always have a tendency. I am going to do this sadhana for 48 days, one mandala, and I need back from you this. What type of actually the sankalpa you are trying to take? Are you trying to cheat yourself, or you are trying to build some kind of transaction between you and as well as a creator? When even creators did the mistake, he did not leave them. He was able to teach them a lesson that what exactly need to be learned. And you are trying to give a bribery to the daiva, telling him that actually, do me this, I'm going to do this for you. Again, something done from the surrenderness, something done from the love is something different. You are giving a naivedya to him. You're offering something, a part of your life, which is actually connected to you. But here, when sadhakas think that actually I am trying to do something, you give me this. For example, I am going to do a 3 mandalas for 144 days of a sadhana as per the Bhairava sadhana anugraha paddhati perspective. Once this has been done, I am going to do Keshamundan, or I'm going to give some 100 or 200 rupees or 1,000 rupees to someone poor person, or to the dogs, street dogs. I'm going to serve some food, or I'm going to give some dana to some beggar. I'm going to offer this, or some particular ashrama. I'm going to donate this. Who are you fooling? Trying to fool do you think that actually by doing such kind of a transactional actions you're going to be left around? You're actually creating this shukla krishna karma. This is, see, akarma is actually, akarmaka is very very essential. You should be very 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 conscious what actions you are going to perform, which will, which is being done without any kind of an attachment to the fruit. It is like karma yoga. This is what actually Rishi Munis was able to teach us. This is what the first Rishi of Vishnu himself, being a karma yogi, in the Krishna, he was able to teach us this. The karma yoga. This is what actually the teachings of the episode of Vishnu was able to teach us. How exactly the karma is going to be distinguished. How exactly the karma is going to be fruitful when it is being done without any kind of expectation. What is going to be your life? Similar is to the sadhana. Make sure that whenever you sit for the sadhana, do not have transactional relationship with him. You may get it, or it may be delayed depending upon your karma phala. Again, you are going to get attached to all those four. Or, as I told you, from a quality of the karma perspective, it may be shukla karma, krishna karma, or shukla krishna karma. You are not going to come to the fourth stage of the quality of akarmaka karma, akamar akarmaka karma. See, akarmaka karma is one of an very easiest or a misunderstood concept. People think that actually I am very purely conscious when I am doing something wrong. No, let me just clarify you. This is something like you don't expect anything from this particular action. For example, if we are trying to do something without any expectation, I don't have anything to do or anything to be received back from you. When you sit completely for you himself, telling that this particular jiva has been given by you, I am just sitting in front of you and doing my aradhana. Oh Guru Bhairava, please take care of this life. You know much better than myself as what I needed. You know, like what you need to remove in my life, what you need to give in my life, what is the good, bad, ugly which can happen in this particular life. You are the creator. You know much better than what my little logical mind always thinks on. When you think on these particular lines, trust me, Bhairava is going to take care of your life. He is going to make sure that your life is being holded. He is going to handhold you in a much more better and prominent way. See, these are the qualities. Even when Vishnu was able to teach us about the quality of the karma, this is what actually he was able to teach to the Manukula. And this has been said that Bhairava in the Guru Swarupa was able to give a essence, the jnana to the Vishnu, and Vishnu was in turn was able to give to the entire Manukula that after Brahma, you know that actually the egoistic head of the man or egoistic of the humankind will always be chopped off. Today's, you know about the episodes of the war, whatever is happening in these geopolitical issues. That is about the fifth head, thinking that I am doing everything as a pride. And what as a karma Vishnu was able to teach in this particular beautiful Kalabhairava Swarupa perspective is the karma is very essential. You need to ensure that all your four karmas, Sanchita, Prārabdha, Āgāmā, and Kriyamāna Karma is going to be taken care by yourself. Be conscious on your actions. And to get rid of this, we always tell do a sadhana of 48 days, because it in a month as a Krishna Paksha, Shukla Paksha is going to come, and this is actually Krishna and Shukla, the white as well as a black karma, which is going to be born out of Satvika, Tamasika, Rajasika Guna. It is going to be helpful for each individual sadhakas, how exactly you can shape up yourself in your life in a better as what you were last minute. This is what actually we always tell. Here we are trying to know about the creator's creation, to know about him a better what we know him a last minute. It is somewhat like karma is ultimately the transcendent. What we need to understand here is when one realize the self, Atman, beyond the door shape, that's where actually your karma stops. This is what actually all the rishis was able to teach. Even when it comes to the Tiruvannamalai or um, the Shiva, when he took the form of a stamba, the when he came into the Jyotirlinga Swarupa perspective and teach the creator themselves, that actually this was the essence even the many of the monks or the siddhas was able to decode. One among them is actually Ramana Maharishi. Ramana Maharishi's story connecting with the Shaiva, connecting with the Shiva is a very beautiful note. It has been said that first he was able to know about karma is the ultimate action. This is what actually he taught us. Even there is a beautiful book called as Who Am I? Okay. This teaches us how exactly the karma of an actions of an each individual is going to put you into the good, bad, ugly situations. Similar is Vishnu was able to teach us karma is an ultimate. Karma is a transcendent. It is about when one self realize that as like inside there is someone who is driving all those things. Not again I always tell, not from the mind, inside Atma. The Atman, once you identify that this is what actually driving you, that is not going to never die. That is the reason we do a sadhana. And 144 days is the reason of the prominence. People come and always ask me, there is any kind of a shortcut. I have been doing sadhana for last 5 years. I am doing a sadhana for almost like 6 years. Or I am doing a sadhana for almost like 500 days, 600 days. I have completed almost like 10 mandalas. But again, they will come and tell me that actually they have a problem of money, they have a problem of their wife, they have a problem of their child, they have a problem with their sister-in-law, mother-in-law. Trust me, what type of sadhana you are trying to do? Are you trying to only count the numbers, or trying to create some checklist and actually tick that actually you have done it? No. When it comes to the sadhana, it is you need to forget yourself that how many mandala you have done. That is the reason 144 and DNA get changes. In science today, in today's science, it is clearly been articulated. The 90 days, the 90 days of the pattern of this biological creations is going to be revamped when it comes to the 90 days of a DNA of the memory. In similar pattern, 44 days, which is actually again sum ups to the 9, is going to be a complete agamana, telling you that whatever you are on the day 1, on the 144th day, you are something new. But if you do it on the mechanical way, nothing is going to change. That is the reason always I tell, listen to this. These are not stories. People come and ask me that actually, can you tell me this story? I am not a storyteller, nor am I a YouTube content creator. Or tell about you about some jnana, telling that actually I am a guru, I am trying to teach something, you are all my shishyas. Unless you listen about him, not from only from my content of the information which I am sharing. Listen about Bhairava. Bhairava is the only one. He is actually been a guru to the both the creators. In the entire creation, in Trideva perspective, in the Guna, he was able to teach the both the creators, Brahma as well as Vishnu, which is important in this life, which is need to be dropped in our life. He was able to teach. This is what actually this 144 days of sadhana is going to do. And that is the reason. There is no shortcuts. Again, whatever is being shared onto the Bhairava Anugraha Sadhana Paddhati, it is very, very simple. It is only for your help and your connection with Daiva. And if you come and tell that actually this is not happening, that is not happening. Again, as a GPRS device, we can only tell you that actually that is your destination. It is only you who need to reach to the destination. And we can only tell that actually in these are the paths, or these are the potholes, or these are the lanes which actually are being blocked, which may help you to the travel to the destination. Again, it is you only person who is going to reach to the destination. That is what Bhairava Anugraha Sadhana Paddhati is all about. It is only giving the location where exactly you need to reach. Again, it is your self journey. Coming back, Vishnu was able to tell ultimately the karma is everything. It is the ultimate. What Atma need to understand, Atman want to understand is what this karma is all about. And he was able to tell this entire existence, creation, whatever we call it as a creation, it is governed by Kala, the time. And Kala, Kala Swarupa, Kala Atita, everything is Bhairava himself. That is the reason he was being called as Kalabhairava. Bhairava Tattva, whatever we call it as Bhairava consciousness, it is was being tagged with one particular element as Kala. He has multiple other Swarupas. Kala is one element of it. Other multiple Swarupas are there. As a human, it is very, very difficult for us to actually understand him. But again, as always told, once you do sadhana with utmost surrender and love towards him, without expecting anything, like as I told you, karma yoga, Vishnu was able to teach us. Akarmaka, akarmaka karma, he was able to teach us very clearly. Akarmaka karma is the final karma which we as a human need to understand. Performing the actions with pure awareness without expecting or attaching to the fruit. It is going to lead us to the final connection with the Daiva. And that's what actually we need to do. And Bhairava being a Kala Swarupa, Kala Tita, Kāl Bhairava, he was able to teach us that this is what the importance is all about. We as a human, we need to understand. See, it is about the karma unfolding only in a time, or surrendering to the Bhairava is only a dissolving between somewhat like a karmic bondages. He is the only one who is going to remove all these things. He had removed even to the creators, Brahma and Vishnu. Why can't for us? We are just a speck in front of him, thinking that actually I am trying to do something, I know something, I will be able to understand something, where actually all these karmas I am trying to drive. Nothing is in our hand. Everything is your black karma, which is trying to Shukla karma, which you are trying to do in actions. Krishna karma, Shukla, Krishna karma. Hope you were able to understand this episode today. This information, whatever has been told, again, my kind request to you is, if you ask me, like, give me the articulation where exactly this is being told, what is a verse number, again, I am not here to actually give any kind of an artifacts or an articulation to you. My only request to you is, when you hear from a Bhairava Guna perspective, try to understand as a sadhaka, connect with the topic or the information which is being said, rather than actually thinking from a logical mind. Logical mind always want to dissect. Even if you give a beautiful flower in your hand, you always do not see the beauty in that flower. You always see how to cut this flower into pieces. what is there inside that, such that actually I can see in the microscope what is living, what is not living, what is the color of it, what is the structure of it, how exactly DNA is being created, what is the structure of a biological information we can actually decode from this. No, you are not going to lead anywhere. See the creator's creation in the way he has been created. So that is the reason I always tell, when you hear or listen to the Bhairava Guna, Bhairava Tattva, you always need to be open hearted. You need to be open from your mind. All the four gunas, all four qualities or the four karmas, if you are very conscious, listen to it repeatedly. Whatever the episode we have created, trust me, the more you hear to each different episode, different timelines, you will be understanding something new in it. And that something new is going to be creating something new in akarmaka karma in your mind. And you will be having something called what exactly Kriyamāna Karma, the fourth karma, what exactly the day to day action I can do in that particular day. Listen to the videos or hear to the videos, listen, such that actually you would get understand the particular swarupa in a different way. Chaushad Bhairava, beautiful episode. People always come and ask me. Again, let me tell you, none of these videos or the content is actually being said, or people tell that actually these are fairy tale stories. Not at all. Anubhava, with only with his grace, I am able to only share the Anubhava in front of you. In his lotus feet, I am just doing the Samarpana to him. And it is always left to you how you are going to accept this, how you are going to digest this, how you are going to understand this concept is only left to you. My duty I have already done, and it is now your duty to understand this and implement this in your life. And again, when it comes to the Bhairava sadhana, do it with the sankalpa. He knows better. The creator knows much better than what actually you can create in your life. So just ask him, what is not important in my life? Remove it. What is important in life? Please give me. That is the only shortest sankalpa you need to have it. Maybe with that note, we will end this today's episode. Kalabhairava Swarupa, the ninth Swarupa, which most of us are asked me about to share about when it comes to. There are much more importance information when it comes to the Kalabhairava, how exactly all the gunas, tattvas, the Kashmiri Shaivism, how exactly they were able to see Nata community, how they were able to get the Bhairava Swarupa, how they were able to understand the Bhairava Guna himself and became the Bhairava Tattva. And also when it comes to the few of the greatest monks, Abhinavagupta, people were able to get merged into his consciousness. And it's again, it only happens with his grace and blessings. My only request to you guys is, whenever you do a sadhana, do not cling, do not attach to the fruit. Just do the sadhana that I am sitting today, I am bowing my hands in front of you. Please take care of this self. He knows better than you. With that note, Namaskaram. Om Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Hingulambikaya Namaha. Om Kamakyaya Namaha. Om Kalakālāya Vidmahe Kālātītāya Dhīmahi Tannah Kāl Bhairava Prachodayāt.